Earlier today, we saw this little weekend event within Black Ops 4 kick off. Unfortunately, it's not probably what you were maybe expecting in terms of, say, a Shamrock and all little content stream for the weekend, but instead it is a double XP, a double tier, and a free DLC weekend within Black Ops 4. So whether you're playing MP, Blackout, or Zombies, you got some cool stuff to take advantage of in terms of ranking up, unlocking some new stuff, and maybe even trying out the brand new DLC maps, depending on what game mode you want to play. So today I want to kind of break down a little bit and give you guys a little heads up on how you can best maximize your playtime to get the most XP as well as the most tier progression out of your game. So that said, we're going to be covering all sorts of different bases here within this and talking about each of the three main game modes and the best ways to maximize it. So that said, jumping into it, first thing I gotta say though, right out of the gate, is it not just the most upsetting thing that you look at that main menu screen and you see double XP across the board and then double tier progression on 3 of the 4 main modes? Treyarch, if anybody's watching, can we please consider getting some tier progression in Zombies for our friends there? But starting out of the gate, let's talk a little bit about double XP, the best ways to maximize it. Let's start out with something that branches over all 3 main modes, is go for challenges. Challenges are absolutely way more important than you may think in terms of XP or merits, whatever game mode you're playing it on. Whether you're going for, say, Dark Matter, whether you're working towards 100%er challenges, whatever it is, now is the best time to do that because it compounds on top of your XP rate that's already doubled. So that's something to consider as well. Whether you're an MP, Blackout, or Zombies, there is a ton of different challenges throughout all of those. So chances are there's not many people that are 100%ers in all 3 things at the very moment. So you're gonna have some sort of challenges at least littered around the game. Jumping over to MP though, let's talk a little bit about the modes firstly to capitalize on because some modes are definitely better than others. Kind of breezing through this here, one that I've actually had a lot of fun with as of recently, and because it is probably one of the main go-to ones that the players that just say search for match are in, so it's a lot more casual perhaps, is that of St. Patrick's Day Stockpile. That's great, especially if you end up playing the objective. You can end up getting anywhere from 25 to say 30,000 XP per match, or possibly even more, and that's something that each match only takes around 7 to 10, maybe 11 minutes at the most. So it's something you can definitely capitalize on, that kind of stuff. Same thing goes with then, say, Control. That's another one that is great for objective play and of course can last a little bit longer, so if you're trying to stack on the XP with the tier progression, that's not a bad one as well. Search and Destroy is also historically a great game mode to capitalize on here for this. Same thing goes for Domination and Kill Confirmed, but the big thing, of course, obviously, is to always play the objective when possible with these, because you do end up getting, say, in Domination, capture kills or defense kill bonuses as well. Same thing goes for, say, Kill Confirmed. You get the tag bonuses. So the more objective you play, obviously, the more it's going to compound, and therefore, at the end of the match, doubling it, it's going to be even better. But one big thing also that is absolutely massive is seriously any of the hardcore game modes. That's going to be a fantastic way to boost your XP because you are in Medal City then at that point. Because each of your in-game medals that you end up getting actually offers a unique XP bonus associated with them. Some more so than others. Things like the Unstoppable and Nuclear medals end up having more of an XP bonus than, say, just a Headshot medal, but the more medals you end up accumulating, the more XP that ends up granting you. And with so many things being one shot, one kills, that's actually one that offers a decent bonus compared to other medals as well. So definitely take advantage of those while you have the opportunity and maybe play a little bit of hardcore. On the Blackout front, there's not really any specific game mode to jump into. It relatively all plays the same in terms of distribution of merits. You can play Hot Pursuit, you can play hardcore, or you can just play your standard solos, duos, or quads. The thing to consider is to try and stay alive as long as possible, but also still kind of balance that with being a little more aggressive, because at that time, while we have had more introductions of merit bonuses for placement, i.e. say top 50 and a little further going on, it's not as much as compared to getting to the top 25, top 10, or even winning, but if you can end up getting a few kills here and there, it should make up and balance it out altogether. So if you can play a little more aggressive, end up getting maybe 5 to 10 kills a game and also staying alive till the later portions of the match, you should be able to compound a decent amount of merits, plus also then take advantage of that doubled at the end of the game. But of course, if you can end up getting massive amounts of kills, plus getting the win, that's obviously the best to go for. Same thing again goes for the challenges that we mentioned earlier. Those will definitely help out greatly as well. I think I ended up getting a duos placement challenge last night before double XP actually kicked in which that was 1,250 merits to begin with. So to double that would have been absolutely fantastic, but unfortunately the timing didn't work out as such. For Zombies, unfortunately, outside of challenges, there's not really all that much that I can say other than just go kill some zombies, try and last as long as possible, and rank up each of your different weapons outside of that. From somebody that unfortunately hasn't been able to invest as much time as previous years into zombies compared to this year, I can't say that personally I've dug up the holy grail of XP progression within zombies, but whereas it's survival based compared to say objective based for some MP modes that are objective heavy, sure you have your things like gauntlets, which can also reward you a little bit further whenever you complete some of the bronze, silver, or gold medal placings. So try and jump in and just play around with all that kind of stuff, and it should hopefully reward you the best this weekend. So while yes, I'm sure you can just say, well, just play the game, play smart and efficiently, not just to play the game. That's the best way to maximize it in terms of MP, Blackout, and zombies, but in terms of maximizing your tier progression, because I'm sure this is something that a lot of people are really interested in. It's been quite some time since we've seen the tier boost come back. We end up seeing we have the tier boost that's purchasable out of the special orders. We've had 3 of them so far, so you could at max have 15% tier boost bonuses naturally. That's something that we still have 100 tiers of the contraband stream available, and depending on where you're at, this is a great way to potentially grind out a decent chunk of it. So a quick little mention before we jump into, again, each of the mode's specific ways to best maximize this. One thing, considering that max of potentially 15 extra % bonus for that tier progression, is that it seems to compound. From the games that I've played earlier, it seems like it compounds and you earn exponentially faster, even compared to the 2 times boost that you end up having where it takes half the time naturally. So it's something that you should be able to breeze through, say 2-3 games of a regular 10-minute match in MP or something like that and be well through to your next tier. So that's something that if you have some of these already purchased, it's literally the best time compared to ever now to jump on, being that you get them even faster. So that said, coming back to the work smart, not hard, let's start out with some MP modes, because this again comes down to your simple playtime. Your earnable rates for the tier progression is based off of in-game playtime, not how you perform, not how many kills you have, and also not the time that it takes waiting in the lobby and also booting up the game. Those are things to consider, so you want to play things that will last longer in-game. The best one in terms of MP, in terms of what you can end up playing just on a regular scale, is the endurance mosh pits that are available right now. It's not the main featured game mode, but it is on the featured tab. And while this one this week may be a little bit more out of your comfort zone because it's the hardcore endurance mosh pit, again, that kind of compounds with what we mentioned earlier in the video about hardcore being a medal city where you can get a bunch of different XP in hardcore game modes because of the medals. So if you can end up getting that XP plus also staying in the games longer, that's absolutely fantastic. But the endurance mosh pits end up allowing for 2 times the score limit. So for example, domination is then going to be 400 score, team deathmatch will be 200, and kill confirmed will be doubled as well. So you should take your standard, say, regular 6-7 minute game TDM, turn that into 14 minutes in game. Hardcore domination maybe being closer to 20 minutes in game. So it all really starts to add up and really starts to make a big boost. And again, with that double tier progression, plus if you have anything in terms of your purchasable bonuses, you might even be able to get through 1 tier almost per game in that endurance mosh pit. Outside of that, there are some other great options if you're not really into the hardcore, longer game modes of endurance games. You also end up having the ability to end up checking out control, because each of these games will last, depending if you can go the round limit for these, anywhere from 8 to say 13-14 minutes. Same thing goes with then Safeguard. Safeguard is a weird little one in which it has the option to be a shorter game mode, but if you take it to overtime, it can go 15-20 minutes sometimes even if you end up taking that full time for it. So that's something that, based off of just sheer playtime, those are probably my 2 next biggest favorites here for it. Domination is that standard 10 to 11 minute game mode that is kind of the basic one and is the easiest to gravitate towards, but if you want some sheer in-game playtime that will go further than that 10 to 11 minutes, those 3 that we just mentioned are absolutely key for that. In terms of Blackout, again, because there is no real differentiation in terms of what each game mode has to offer, the best thing that I can say is just to try and stay alive as much as possible. Blackout's been one of my go-tos for tier progression because usually in my case, not even trying to brag or anything like that, but I end up finding myself in late game a lot of the times in a lot of the games that I play. So for me, it's a little bit more natural. Others, it might not necessarily be to stay alive into late game, but if you can end up doing that, that is a sheer unabridged 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes of in-game playtime that you don't have to worry about. And given the endurance mosh pit isn't always an option, sometimes that 10 to 15 to 20 minutes, that's a big difference that you can't get compared to MP modes, and especially beforehand. we didn't have things like Safeguard that could go a full 4 rounds. We didn't have the endurance game modes as before, so it is now counterbalanced with some of the MP modes, but Blackout, just simply stay alive as much as possible. Maybe say land at an unnamed location off in the distance and roll in with zone, and don't take any mindless gunfights that you don't have the best chance of winning. By no means am I saying to camp in a corner, but simply play it smart and play for survival. But finally, the last thing we'll talk about in this video is, again, the other thing that made the headlines is that you'll probably see, even in the map selection, that it's the free MP DLC weekend. This was something that was bugged since Tuesday, but is now available officially until Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So this should be able to allow players to experience the brand new maps and also hopefully get a good lobby. If you had the DLC beforehand, you know that it starts to whittle down the player numbers because the more casual player and less hardcore players won't necessarily buy the expansion maps after the game launches. They'll just play the base game and that's about it. So your lobbies would progressively get more and more hardcore as the year goes along. But now that everybody has access to that, even that casual player that doesn't like spending money for the expansions or doesn't care too much to play more outside of that, they should now theoretically be introduced into your lobby pool as well. So you should hopefully find some easier lobbies as well on top of experiencing the brand new DLC maps. That's it. That's where we're going to wrap it up here at this one. Wanted to give you guys a brief little rundown of the best ways to maximize your XP, your tiers, and also hopefully your lobby experience as well. So that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is there anything you'd add to this list to maybe say boost up your XP bonuses and also tier progression? Is there anything I may have missed? Anything that you've really enjoyed and want to try for yourself? Whatever it is, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, MP, Blackout, Zombies. We got you covered the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. We got you covered. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miugh a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, there's the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. Well, that's it, now, boy. Thank you guys all so much for watching. My name's Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and take advantage of this weekend. Peace.